Norway. Norway is a kingdom that has engineered a social welfare system so comprehensive that every citizen is held within a complete and reliable safety net from the very moment they are born. Yet within this highly organized system exists an unusual and seemingly illogical rule. In certain regions, people are not officially allowed to die simply because the permanent cold prevents proper burial and natural decomposition of the human body. Welcome to Norway. A country where hidden millionaires live quietly and where remarkable contradictions exist side by side. Beneath this modest and reserved surface lies a nation filled with paradoxes. What forces sustain this calm and understated prosperity? Join us as we cut through the frozen air and explore a kingdom defined by contrasts. Beneath Norway's visible prosperity lie deliberate decisions made over decades. Despite earning immense revenue from oil, the country maintains high taxes and costly fuel prices. This policy is not presented as a moral statement, but as a practical way to reflect the true environmental and economic cost of consumption. At the same time, Norway invested early in electric vehicle infrastructure. Charging stations quietly appeared across cities and towns, becoming part of everyday life long before electric cars were common. This made the transition feel seamless rather than forced. The same thoughtful philosophy appears throughout Norwegian culture. At the Edinburgh Zoo, a penguin named Niels Olav was officially granted an honorary rank in the Norwegian King's Guard, following formal military procedure and passed down through generations of penguins. To outsiders, this tradition seems charming and humorous. To Norwegians, it represents something familiar. Authority and ritual can exist comfortably alongside simplicity and humor. Oslo reflects this national character clearly. The city communicates through restraint rather than excess, standing as a living example of Norway's transition from survival to shared prosperity. Along the harbor rests the Akershus fortress, a medieval stronghold constructed in the late 13th century during a time when survival depended on defense. Its heavy stone walls, narrow corridors, and elevated position tell the story of an era when danger was constant and power required protection. Today, the fortress does not overshadow the city. It quietly watches it. Directly across the water, the visual conversation shifts toward the future, with the Oslo Opera House rising from the fjord like a sharp iceberg carved from white marble and glass. It is clearly an expensive structure, yet it deliberately avoids excess. People are free to walk across its roof, sit along its edges, and use it as a public gathering space. Although undeniably costly, the building is not pretentious. Its worth lies in openness and accessibility rather than height or grandeur. Where Akershus speaks of survival and the need for walls, the Opera House speaks of transparency and openness. Together, these two structures express the essence of the world's wealthiest nation, a country that respects its defensive past while building a future where culture is placed directly within reach of its people. As the cliffs widen and the air sharpens with the scent of pine and melting ice, we arrive at Geirangerfjord, often described as the king of the fjords. This UNESCO World Heritage Site stands as a powerful reminder of the Ice Age's sculpting force. Nature did not simply carve a passage here, it created a vast cathedral of stone and emerald-colored water. The fjord stretches for miles, bordered by sheer cliffs that rise directly from deep blue waters to snow-covered peaks above. Geiranger is defined by a raw and primal beauty. A deep stillness fills the air, a silence that seems to absorb the modern world entirely. The water is so clear that it mirrors the mountains, doubling their height and dissolving the boundary between land and sky. Sound behaves differently here, fading into distance and scale. Even movement feels slower, as though the landscape itself sets the pace. Human presence appears only where nature allows it. Abandoned farms clinging to narrow ledges, and pathways formed where the ground briefly held firm. In the soft ripple of a passing boat or the distant echo of a hidden stream, Geiranger reveals a Norway that exists beyond human timelines, a landscape so complete that it needs no embellishment. Along the steep walls of the Geirangerfjord, the cliffs reveal one of the North's most delicate natural wonders, the Seven Sisters waterfall. 7 separate streams of meltwater fall nearly 270 meters into the fjord below, flowing in parallel paths from snowfields high above. Each stream follows its own rhythm, never fully merging with the others. Instead of one dramatic impact, they create a gentle pattern of repetition. From a distance, they resemble thin silver threads draped across dark, unyielding rock. Here, Norse mythology feels alive within the landscape. Legend tells of 7 sisters who danced upon the mountain, and a suitor across the fjord who was so enchanted by their beauty that he turned to stone, forever watching them from the opposite shore, in the form of a bottle-shaped waterfall. The power of the falls changes with the seasons. In spring, fueled by melting snow, they thunder with force, filling the air with mist and creating rainbows in the sunlight. By late summer, they soften into quiet streams, reminding visitors of the fragile balance of the Arctic cycle. Standing at the base of the falls, feeling cold droplets on your skin, it becomes clear that in Norway, every landmark carries a story. The trail continues to Preikestolen, also known as Pulpit Rock. Towering nearly 600 meters above Lysefjord, the plateau has a striking square shape that feels less like a natural formation and more like a carefully designed altar. The cliff ends abruptly in a clean, sharp edge. The surface is wide and flat, with no railings, no fences, and no warning signs. This precise shape was formed by intense glacial pressure that split the rock into smooth slabs centuries ago. Reaching the top requires focus and effort, as the path is uneven and rugged. Upon reaching the edge, movement becomes cautious. The sheer scale of the drop demands full awareness of balance, distance, and weight. Beneath your feet lie stone slabs that have endured for millions of years. Before you stretches a vast blue expanse that feels endless. Preikestolen teaches perspective. The human figure appears both exact and temporary, standing quietly before a landscape that offers absolute freedom. 12 hours of demanding physical effort is the price nature requires for an audience with the troll. The journey to Trolltunga is far more than a simple hike. It is a quiet pact formed between the human body and the ancient land beneath it. As the trail winds across a high-altitude plateau of exposed rock and frozen ground, passing stretches of barren stone and lingering permafrost, the surrounding world begins to feel older, stripped of time and modernity. According to legend, this enormous horizontal rock was once the tongue of a troll who grew arrogant and dared to mock the rising sun. When the first light of dawn touched him, he turned instantly to stone, his tongue left frozen in place, jutting nearly 2,300 feet above Lake Ringadalsvatnet as a permanent warning to those who failed to respect nature's power. From a geological perspective, the troll's tongue is a remarkable creation of the last ice age. Meltwater from ancient glaciers seeped deep into cracks within the mountain, freezing and expanding again and again until pressure slowly forced this dense slab of rock outward. The result is a formation suspended in a seemingly impossible balance, held in tension by time itself. Standing on its narrow edge, with the turquoise waters of the lake far below, the scale feels immense and deeply humbling. There are no safety rails or protective barriers, only wind, silence, and the weight of 10,000 years of natural history. Trolltunga honors perseverance and resolve, standing as a symbol of the Norwegian belief that the most meaningful rewards belong to those willing to endure hardship in the world's most unforgiving places. At the base of the towering ledge, Lake Ringadalsvatnet lies still and quiet, resembling a vast emerald sealed between the steep stone walls of the Hardangervidda Plateau. The lake's deep sapphire color feels almost unreal, created by pristine glacial meltwater mixed with fine particles of rock carried down over thousands of years. On calm days, the lake's surface transforms into an immense mirror, perfectly reflecting the Nordic sky and surrounding snow-capped peaks, dissolving the boundary between what is real and what is reflected, between sky and earth, above and below. Ringadalsvatnet is not merely a dramatic foreground for iconic photographs. It stands as physical evidence of the tectonic forces that shape this land. In Old Norse, the word ski originally meant nothing more than a simple piece of wood. Yet at Holmenkollen, proudly positioned on a hill overlooking Oslo, that humble object has evolved into a symbol of human flight. This site is home to the oldest ski jump in the world. Today, a sleek structure of steel and glass rises into the sky, its elegant curve cutting through the clouds like a monumental work of modern sculpture. It stands as a reminder that for Norwegians, skiing is far more than a sport. It is a cultural identity rooted in more than 4,000 years of history, supported by ancient rock carvings and wooden artifacts preserved in the museum beneath the jump itself. The modern ski jump tower rises with a clean, forward-leaning design, created not to serve as a static monument, but as a functional launch point. From the top, the city of Oslo spreads out below, appearing almost like a miniature landscape surrounded by the vast forests of Nordmarka, a wilderness that begins precisely where the city ends. Within these quiet expanses of pine and spruce, nature continues at its own unhurried pace. Here, moose, respected by Norwegians as the kings of the forest, move silently through dense undergrowth with calm authority. Nearby, elegant herds of red deer emerge and vanish within the morning mist, like fleeting spirits of the ancient woods. This contrast reveals a uniquely Norwegian paradox. Only minutes from the futuristic lines of Holmenkollen and the energy of the capital, the ancient rhythm of wild animals remains untouched. These creatures serve as silent guardians of the forest, reminding us that while humans construct towers to reach the sky, the true strength of the North lies in the living silence of its old-growth wilderness. Set between steep mountain slopes and open coastal waters, Bryggen, a line of narrow, leaning wooden warehouses, stands as a vivid reminder of Norway's trading past. Painted in deep crimson, soft yellow, and weathered shades of brown, these buildings represent the legacy of the Hanseatic League. From the 14th to the 16th centuries, Bryggen served as the heart of a powerful trading network that controlled commerce across northern Europe. Within these wooden walls, vast quantities of dried cod were stored and shipped, preserved by cold air and salt, allowing the fish to travel great distances and feed cities far from the fjords. This trade connected Bergen to distant markets it could never physically see, tying the city's fate to economic rhythms beyond its coastline. Walking through Bryggen's narrow, shadowed passageways feels like entering a sensory time capsule. The air carries the heavy scent of salt and tar, the thick black substance used for centuries to protect pinewood from Norway's relentless rain. Layer upon layer of tar coats the buildings, concealing the lives and labor of countless merchants within its dark sheen. These structures lean slightly on reclaimed land, imperfect and weathered, yet they endure with quiet humility and stubborn resilience. Farther north, the terrain opens to reveal Trondheim, the ancient capital of the Viking Age. Long before Oslo assumed its role as capital, Trondheim stood at the center of Norway's political and spiritual life. Known in earlier times as Nidaros, the city still carries echoes of kings, warriors, and pilgrims carried on the coastal air. At the city's heart rises Nidaros Cathedral, a masterpiece of Gothic and Romanesque architecture that appears almost delicately woven from stone. As the northernmost medieval cathedral in the world, it serves as the burial site of Saint Olaf, the patron saint who introduced Christianity to Norway. It remains the sacred location where Norwegian monarchs are crowned to this day. The cathedral's beauty lies in its extraordinary detail. The western facade forms a vast stone tapestry of saints, kings, and prophets who have silently watched over the city for nearly 1,000 years. When the Arctic sun sinks low, the green copper roofs and pale soapstone walls glow softly, reflected in the dark, slow-moving waters of the Nidelva River. Nearby districts bring energy and life, offering contrast to the cathedral's solemn presence. Trondheim is not simply historic. It is where Viking strength transformed into enduring cultural refinement. Group 3. Engineering wonders through the heart of stone. Deep beneath the dense gneiss and granite of the Sognefjord region, the Lærdal Tunnel extends for approximately 24 kilometers, earning the distinction of being the longest road tunnel in the world. Entering the tunnel feels less like passing through a constructed passage and more like slipping beneath the landscape itself. The road slopes gently downward, leaving daylight behind as it enters a quiet underground realm where the immense weight of the mountain presses overhead. Rather than cutting directly through the rock, the tunnel follows the natural contours of the terrain, avoiding steep gradients and sharp curves. The mountain above remains whole and undisturbed by the traffic moving beneath it. To ease the psychological strain of such a long enclosed journey, engineers transformed sections of bare rock into illuminated chambers, using color and light to guide drivers and relieve the sense of confinement. Extending more than 8 kilometers across open water, the Atlantic Road links a chain of small islands along Norway's western coastline, crossing seas where the North Atlantic is in constant motion. The bridges remain low and wide, following gaps shaped by the ocean long before modern roads existed. Built close to sea level, the road removes the boundary between traveler and water, placing vehicles directly within the shifting environment. Its most dramatic feature, the Storsisundet Bridge, curves sharply upward before dropping suddenly toward the next island. From certain viewpoints, the bridge appears incomplete, an illusion created by its bold geometry and rising arc. During construction in the 1980s, the project faced repeated delays due to extreme weather. Crews endured 12 hurricanes, watching waves crash over unfinished sections again and again. The bridges were engineered to bend and flex beneath enormous forces, yielding to the sea rather than resisting it. Traffic moves only when conditions permit. There is no alternate route. The Atlantic Road does not escape nature's severity. It accepts it fully. Deep within the Rauma region, the terrain tightens until the valley walls rise almost vertically, closing in and erasing the horizon. This dramatic setting is home to Trollstigen, known as the Troll's Path, a mountain road carved directly into the face of an unforgiving slope. To reach the top, travelers must climb through 11 sharp hairpin turns, each one painstakingly cut by hand into solid, resistant stone. The incline is so severe that the road appears to bend back over itself, forming a twisting gray ribbon of asphalt pressed against an ancient rock wall. Construction began in the early 20th century, relying on controlled blasting and manually built retaining walls. Every meter of progress depended entirely on the mountain's permission. Where the rock allowed space, a road was carved. Where it did not, the route could go no farther. There was no excess, no room for error, only careful calculation and physical labor. At the center of the climb, Stigfossen waterfall crashes downward from a height of more than 1,000 feet, roaring beneath a narrow stone bridge that crosses directly over the cascade. The sound is overwhelming, a raw encounter with the force of moving water channeled by gravity and stone. Opened in 1936, the road still carries visible signs of the labor that shaped it. Hand-fitted stone walls continue to stand firm against decades of frost, rockfall, and seasonal movement. Above the waterfall, the road straightens and the landscape begins to open. What felt compressed and constrained below releases into wide space and distance. Looking back down the valley, the road appears fragile, held in place by constant maintenance rather than permanence. Trollstigen is a place where the mountains control every decision, and every turn reveals a new and humbling perspective. Hardanger is often called the Orchard of Norway. Here, sheer cliffs gradually open into broad, sunlit valleys shaped by a rare and gentle microclimate. In spring, the region transforms as thousands of apple and cherry trees bloom simultaneously, covering the valleys in soft white and pale pink blossoms. These fragile petals unfold directly beneath towering glaciers and snow-covered peaks, creating a striking meeting point between renewal and permanence, life and ice. This balance exists because of the surrounding glaciers. Meltwater flows downward into the fjord and surrounding soil, carrying minerals that enrich the land along the valley floor. The terrain here softens, slopes become less severe, allowing just enough stability for roots to take hold. Over generations, farmers learned to work within these narrow natural limits, planting orchards only where elevation, temperature, sunlight, and water briefly align. Sailing through the fjord in May reveals a landscape in transition. Emerald water reflects snow-covered mountains above, while flowering trees bloom along the shoreline below. It is a rare moment when seasons overlap, and the land displays both its softness and its strength at once. Long before it comes into view, Vöringsfossen announces itself through sound. A deep, constant roar echoes from the canyon, growing louder with every step closer. It is one of the most powerful waterfalls in Norway, a pure display of hydraulic force shaped by gravity alone. Meltwater from the high plateau gathers into a single channel before plunging nearly 180 meters straight down into a narrow, shadowed canyon. The river gives itself fully to gravity, disappearing into mist as it strikes the canyon floor. The surrounding cliffs are dark, steep, and deeply scarred by vertical streaks carved over centuries by melting snow. Seasonal changes affect the volume of water, but never its direction. In spring and early summer, the flow thickens as snow and ice release their hold. Later in the year, the water thins, revealing more of the rock face beneath, though the path of the river remains unchanged. A modern bridge stretches across the canyon, allowing visitors to pass directly through open air. Its structure feels light and temporary, designed to withstand vibration, wind, and spray without disturbing the waterfall itself. As the water crashes below, it explodes into a constant cloud of mist, often forming rainbows suspended above the canyon. This is raw physics on display, the relentless pull of gravity acting on snow gathered high above. The canyon walls bear permanent marks of this process, smoothed and hollowed by thousands of years of erosion. On the southwestern coast, the story of Norway's modern wealth becomes most visible in Stavanger. Known internationally as the nation's oil capital, the city functions as the operational heart of offshore drilling in the North Sea. From here, massive rigs extract the resources that fuel Norway's prosperity. Yet Stavanger does not resemble an industrial powerhouse. Instead of smokestacks and steel skylines, the city center remains calm and intimate. Cobblestone streets and low buildings define its character, preserving a sense of quiet continuity even as the engines of global energy operate offshore. Near the harbour lies Gamla Stavanger, a historic district made up of more than 170 white-painted wooden houses from the 18th and 19th centuries, the largest preserved collection of its kind in Northern Europe. Narrow lanes wind between the small homes, their white walls softened by time and careful preservation. These houses were built generations before oil reshaped the region, and they survived because they were never replaced. Bright red geraniums spilled from windowsills, offering the only bold color against the pale wood. Beyond the old quarter, the city retains its maritime character. Stone streets worn smooth by centuries of sailors and now engineers connect Stavanger's modest origins to its present role as a global economic force. Often described as the pearl of southern Norway, Arendal reflects the classic charm of the Sørlandet coast. The city's identity is closely tied to the sea. Once one of Northern Europe's most important ports, its maritime heritage lives on through carefully preserved architecture and the gentle rhythm of the Skagerrak Sea. At the center of Arendal's beauty is Tyholmen, the historic old town. Walking through this area feels like stepping into the 18th and 19th centuries. Tall white wooden houses line the streets, former homes of ship owners and merchants who once controlled global trade routes. Yet the city's true charm lies in its narrow cobblestone alleys. These winding paths, often just wide enough for two people to pass, reveal hidden gardens, climbing roses, and old lanterns tucked between buildings. The social heart of the city is Pollen, the inner harbor. In summer, boats fill the water, ranging from traditional wooden vessels to sleek, modern yachts. Cafes and seafood restaurants line the waterfront, creating a lively atmosphere shaped by southern hospitality. Beyond the city center, Arendal extends into an archipelago of nearby islands. Højsvø and Tromøy shield the coastline from the open sea, offering calm waters ideal for swimming and sailing. Whether seen in the quiet reflection of a white house on still morning water or during the energy of summer festivals, Arendal remains a refined expression of Norwegian coastal beauty. Known as the King of the Fjords, Sognefjord is a natural formation of immense scale. Stretching more than 200 kilometers inland and reaching depths beyond 1,300 meters, it is the longest and deepest fjord in Norway. Often described as a blue blade cutting into the mountainous core of the country, it forms a dramatic corridor through rugged terrain. This shape was created slowly during the Ice Age as massive glaciers advanced and retreated through hard bedrock. Over time, the ice carved deeper channels while leaving surrounding peaks largely intact. When the glaciers withdrew, seawater flooded the carved path, preserving its sharp, elongated form. The visual power of Sognefjord comes from contrast. On either side of its shifting emerald and deep blue waters, sheer cliffs rise abruptly, some reaching heights of more than 1,700 meters. Snow-covered peaks crown these stone walls, while thin waterfalls descend like silver threads, into the depths below. The water acts as an enormous mirror, reflecting sky, mountains, and forest, creating a sense of endless space. Despite its immense scale and raw force, Sognefjord also contains moments of quiet life. At the base of towering mountains sit small, colorful villages such as Balestrand and Flom, where orchards bloom in spring, softening the edges of one of Norway's most powerful landscapes. The Lofoten Islands form a geological masterpiece, where the restless waters of the Norwegian Sea collide with sharply rising Arctic peaks. Within this dramatic archipelago, the village of Reine stands as a symbol of breathtaking beauty. Often described as the most beautiful place in Norway, the settlements here appear almost unreal, as though lifted directly from myth or folklore. The defining visual contrast lies between the dark, rugged granite mountains and the bright red Råbu fishermen's cabins that cling tightly to the rocky shoreline. For photographers, Reine offers an endless interplay of light and shadow. In winter, the low Arctic sun casts a gentle pink glow. Across snow-covered peaks, while the turquoise waters of Reinefjorden remain remarkably clear and still. Beyond visual beauty, the area carries deep historical weight. These villages were built around cod fishing, and even today, the faint scent of drying fish lingers near wooden racks along the shore. Whether beneath the midnight sun of summer or the shifting glow of the aurora in winter, the atmosphere feels dense with ancient, unspoken power. Life in Reine remains oriented toward the sea. During winter months, wooden drying racks line the coastline, heavy with cod split and left to dry in the cold air. Fishing boats rest nearby, ready for migration and return. Everything here faces outward, toward weather patterns, seasonal movement, and the long rhythms of survival shaped by the ocean. In the small fishing village of Henningsvær, spread across several tiny islands linked by bridges, lies what many consider the most famous football pitch on Earth. Henningsvær Stadium is not known for its size or architectural spectacle. It has no stands and no professional lighting. Instead, it sits carved directly from solid rock at the southern edge of a narrow island, surrounded by jagged granite cliffs and the powerful waves of the Atlantic Ocean. The vivid green artificial turf stands in sharp contrast to the grey stone and deep blue sea, creating an image that has become an international symbol of the Lofoten Islands. The pitch represents the Norwegian concept of dugnad, a shared spirit of community effort. In a place where land is scarce and the environment unforgiving, the people of Henningsvær chose to dedicate space not for profit, but for play, gathering, and connection. Surrounding the field are thousands of wooden racks used for drying cod, reinforcing the village's primary livelihood. Playing football here is a fully sensory experience. The air carries the sharp scent of salt and the unmistakable aroma of dried fish. With no walls to block the wind, players feel every shift in weather. This field proves that even in the most remote corners of the world, human desire for sport, unity, and shared experience can thrive. Situated roughly 350 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, Tromsø is a city of unexpected elegance and vibrant life. Often called the Paris of the North, this subarctic city exists at the intersection of striking contrasts. On one side, it is a refined cultural center, home to a major university, renowned restaurants, and the striking Arctic Cathedral, whose glass mosaics shimmer like fractured ice. On the other, it marks the edge of civilization, where modern infrastructure gives way to the vast and untamed Arctic wilderness. During the long polar night, when the sun never rises above the horizon, Tromsø becomes the world's foremost destination for viewing the northern lights. Positioned directly beneath the auroral oval, the city offers some of the most reliable conditions on Earth to witness ribbons of green and purple light moving across the sky in silent motion. Yet the magic of Tromsø extends beyond the heavens. In the surrounding fjords, another extraordinary event unfolds each winter. Pods of orcas migrate into these waters to hunt herring. For those who encounter them, sharing the sea with these apex predators becomes a rare and deeply moving experience, one that feels both humbling and sacred. Svalbard represents the final frontier of the far north, a vast, frozen archipelago where the rules of modern life yield entirely to the authority of nature. This is a land of deep silence, where permafrost never thaws and mountains remain locked beneath ancient glaciers. At the center of this extreme environment lies Longyearbyen, the northernmost town in the world. Here, residents carry rifles when leaving town to protect themselves from polar bears, which outnumber humans across the archipelago. Survival defines daily life, shaped by the severe beauty of the high Arctic. Polar bears move slowly across fractured ice floes, their pale bodies standing out against the blue-gray sea and shifting ice. Each step is deliberate, carefully placed on ice, thick enough to support their weight. In Svalbard, polar bears are not symbols or icons. They are a constant presence that shapes every decision. Hidden deep within the side of a sandstone mountain near the airport lies the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, often referred to as the Doomsday Vault. This facility serves as humanity's ultimate backup plan. Inside, millions of seeds from across the world are stored, protected by natural permafrost and reinforced by layers of solid rock. The entrance, a simple concrete structure illuminated by a glowing geometric light installation, stands quietly against the frozen darkness like a watchful guardian. The vault is a place of profound hope. It ensures that even in the event of global catastrophe, Earth's biodiversity can be restored. To visit Svalbard is to confront both the fragility of life and the responsibility humans carry as caretakers of the planet. It is a journey to the edge of the map, where silence feels heavy with the weight of the future. Norway does not conceal its wealth out of embarrassment, but out of respect for equality. The nation's true richness is not measured in financial terms, but found in clean air, untouched fjords, and a shared trust in systems designed to last. Norway is not simply a destination. It is a model for a future where humanity learns to prosper without exploitation. And the journey does not end here. Other horizons still wait, and other lands remain ready to tell their stories.